Tata Tech has been in the news because of a prestige deal, I think I could describe it as they've inked with German luxury car maker BMW. They have announced a JV which will be setting up an automotive software hub in India. We are speaking now with Managing Director and CEO of Tata Tech, Warren Harris, who joins us on the show. Very good morning to you, Mr. Harris, and great to speak with you here on NDTV Profit. Now, we have sketchy details of the deal so far. We know it's a joint venture with BMW. It's a huge project. You're going to be in at least 3 cities, etc. But can you share more details? What we would love to know is there any investment that Tata Tech puts in? What is your share of the deal, etc.?
It's a really big day for the engineering services sector here in India. To have a premium automotive company like BMW make a commitment to India at scale is something that I think is a testament to the growing capabilities that we collectively represent here in this country. You know, today we signed the joint venture. The joint venture is subject to regulatory approval in Europe and in China. So I'm not in a position to be able to share too many details, but what I would reinforce is that it's going to be focused upon automotive software and also the development of enterprise IT capabilities that will further enable BMW to optimize the way in which it runs its operations globally. So it's a very exciting day for us, and also an exciting day for the Tata Group. The success that we've celebrated today was enabled by BMW undertaking a search over the last 12 months of candidate Indian engineering services partners. They made a decision on Tata Technologies based upon capability, but also values and culture. And our proposition to BMW was also reinforced by other group companies, and specifically companies like Tata Elxsi. So it's a great day for us, but it's also a great day for the Tata Group.
Agreed. It is a great day, Mr. Harris. And, you know, we saw that in the stock run yesterday. But having said that, is there any sort of detail you can give us on the size of this JV? What is the quantum of investment? What is, for example, the contribution to your top line that is going to come with this deal? In what aspects are you partnering with BMW? Anything that you can share there?
As the name joint venture communicates, this will be a joint venture between both organizations. You know, we will have a material say in how the JV operates. We'll also have a material ownership position in the organization. But at this stage, given the requirement of regulatory approval, we can't disclose too much in the way of detail.
I think one thing that the street would definitely like to know, and this is something that maybe bothers analysts that track your company, is your dependence on your anchor clients. Your top 5 account for about 70% of your revenue. Your top few are for about 45–46% of the revenue. Can you give us a sense if this deal with, or this JV with BMW now reduces that concentration with your anchor clients?
One of the things that's synonymous with Tata Technologies' value proposition is the strategic nature of the relationships we have with our clients. And so although we typically work with a small number of clients, the commitment that we make to those clients and they make to us is material, it's meaningful, and it's long term. You know, we have focused upon the top R&D spenders in the 3 sectors in which we operate: automotive, aerospace, and transport, construction, and heavy machinery. And wins like this certainly improve the customer pyramid. But as we expand our customer base, we want to stay very true to the difference that matters that Tata Technologies represents, which is our ability to be able to undertake the most complex engagements in this sector. You know, the type of work that we undertake is typically synonymous with the type of capabilities that the OEMs have themselves. And so we're very clear about where we sit in the market, and all of the engagements and the customer relationships that we're investing in support our ability or support our ambition to expand that.
That's great, Mr. Harris, but let me reiterate that question, which I haven't quite gotten an answer to. For example, does this bring BMW in your top 5 or top 3 client list?
I think maybe in 12 months' time we should have the same conversation. But at this point in time, I'm not going to speculate.
Okay, I'm going to hold you up to that, and I hope we can have that conversation with more details. But let me come back to the scope of what you will be doing with BMW. For example, is this going to be focused on their ICE, vehicles or their EVs? What will be the range of contributions to BMW? Is this for a new kind of vehicle? Can you give us some sense there?
Well, the scope of the JV is focused upon 2 domains. One, automotive software, as BMW look to inform their future products with more and more connected and digital services. The JV is intended to make a contribution to that. But the focus will also extend into enterprise IT systems. So the type of digital systems that will further enable improved productivity and the optimization of how BMW does business across its entire value chain. So it's in those 2 areas that we'll be predominantly focused.
Anything you can share in terms of the number of jobs this will create, the number of employees across the facilities in India?
All that I will say is that it's material. This represents a very strategic and very meaningful commitment from both Tata Technologies and BMW. And that's one of the reasons that we are excited. But in terms of specific numbers, again, given the constraints under which we are currently operating, I'm not in a position to be able to share detail with you.
Right. No, I get that. I get that. One thing, though, that I wanted your comment on is, JLR is a key client of yours and a rival of BMW in several markets in Europe as well, of course. Does that create a conflict of interest for you? I was just curious to know how you manage this.
Well, we've established a capability to protect the confidentiality and the information that is shared with us by our top clients. We're very proud of the relationship with JLR. The relationship at JLR has allowed us to demonstrate the capabilities that we represent on both the full product side of our value proposition, all the way through embedded electronics, software, and again, enterprise IT. So we've been able to, I think, demonstrate capability at scale with JLR that has really reinforced confidence with other customers like BMW. But we will continue to protect the trust and confidence that is extended with Tata Technologies across our entire customer portfolio. Integrity and trust is the basis on which we've built our customer pyramid, and it's something that we will never compromise upon.
A story that I wanted your take on, Mr. Harris, and this caught my eye yesterday, that Xiaomi has launched its first electric vehicle, and they saw astounding bookings on day 1. And it's interesting that how essentially a mobile phone company is pivoting to producing cars. I wanted your take on this in terms of how OEMs and tech companies will be converging and doing very similar things. How is Tata Tech placed in moving in on that trend?
That's a really great question, and what Xiaomi have done and Huawei are doing in China, it contrasts sharply with the announcement that Apple made in the earlier part of this year. in and around the disbanding of their automotive ambitions. I was in China some 3 weeks ago, and a couple of things surprised me. One is the convergence of tech and product in the Chinese market. The seamless integration of the digital platforms that companies like Tencent, Xiaomi, and Huawei represent is incredibly impressive. The transition from home to vehicle to office is somewhat seamless in China, and I think it represents a benchmark against which most other companies globally will be playing catch up. And so I think the connected services proposition and the integration of connected services with EVs is something that China is currently leading the world on. And I'm excited about the fact that we, Tata Technologies, have a material presence in China and a support in many of the companies that are driving the type of innovation and the type of capability building that is not only disrupting the market there, but is increasingly influencing the trends in Europe and in North America.
And what is the size of your revenues from China, Mr. Harris?
It's not something that we disclose, but I would say that I'm very proud of the nexus that we have in China, not just because of its material contribution to our overall business, but also because, like with other territories, the majority of our employees are Chinese. We do not practice an India out proposition. We have a balanced onshore offshore proposition, and again, we're very proud of our heritage here in India, very proud of our heritage within the Tata Group, but we position ourselves very much as a global company.
Another challenge, a big challenge really, that global players are facing, Mr. Harris, is getting the software right for EVs. We've seen it delay product launches. Perhaps only a Tesla has cracked it. Where is Tata Tech placed here?
Another great insight and great question. Certainly, software now is increasingly on the critical path of vehicle launches. We've recognized that trend some 10 years ago and have been investing over the last decade. And the fact that somebody like BMW has undertaken an exhaustive search of candidate engineering service providers here in India and has selected Tata Technologies as its partner of choice, I think is a testament to the breadth and depth of capabilities that we now represent. You cite Tesla as a great example of where the industry is trending, but to the point that you made previously, I think the Chinese are not only playing catch up, but in some areas, particularly in terms of the seamless integration of different parts of our life, I think they're actually taking a lead. The fact that Tata Technologies not only has capabilities, but also has a presence in these different parts of the market, I think uniquely positions us to capitalize our learnings and ensure that increasingly we're in a position to be able to represent that to the customers that we serve. We're in a very exciting transformation in the automotive and the mobility space that's providing all sorts of tailwinds for companies like ourselves, and we fully expect and are investing to capitalize on that.
I'm curious to know how all of this translates into what we will see in India and by when. Do you think that this tech that you're talking about, a seamless transition from office to home in your EV, etc., will reach India fairly soon, or are we still at a nascent stage here?
I don't think so. If you look at the progress that the market leader Tata Motors has made in electric vehicles, I think the investment that they've made in EV products, in converting internal combustion engine platforms to electric platforms, that's allowed it to take a lead on the competition and has certainly defined its fortunes over the last couple of years. The progressive nature of the product proposition and the capabilities that are informing the Tata Motors portfolio is something that we're excited about in terms of the contribution that we've already made, but also the contribution that we expect to make going forward. And I think one of the things that's really exciting for the industry here is that we're doing that in a very frugal way. And not only do I think that will provide very competitive products for the Indian market, but I think it will also increasingly provide Indian OEMs and their associated supply chains with opportunities in the broader market globally.
As we round up, let me come back to the JV with BMW, which is why we're having this conversation, Mr. Harris. Can you share what are the timelines in mind to actually execute it? I know you're waiting for regulatory approvals, etc., but what has been penciled in?
Yeah, the regulatory approval is likely to take several months. We have been planning on the JV over the last 6-7 months, and we expect to continue that as we are going through regulatory approval. So the formation of the JV is not yet determined, but I would expect it to be in the second half of this year.
All right, so that JV is likely to form in the second half of this year, says Warren Harris. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Pleasure to have you here, and we hope to have you back soon.